Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. We are working on creating a seed starting area here in my best friend's sunroom. So this is actually a whole alcove of windows, which is nighttime right now. So you're not really going to be able to see it. But at a later date I'll show that. So the first thing we're going to work on is building this huge shelf. If I can even figure out how to get it open. Well, I got the box open and my husband joined me, and this is partway through the process of building these shelves. Now, building a big metal shelf in a room full of windows definitely took some paying attention to my surroundings. So we got this shelf at Sam's Club. I want to say it was about $116 before tax. I got it because it's a heavy duty metal 6-tier shelf, so I can do 5 levels of seeds if I needed to with lights. But it also holds up to 600 pounds, and so later on I can use this to hold canned goods, or I can use it for seed starting, whatever I want. So this whole setup that we're building right now, when we end up with our own place, we are taking this setup with us. So I'm trying to invest in things that I know for sure that are going to be useful in the future. So as you saw, I kind of placed out on that front left pole where I wanted everything. I really decided that I wanted larger spaces towards the bottom and smaller spaces towards the top. There's just subtle changes, not big ones. But it was enough that it made a difference to me that I wanted to kind of count those and space those out. The way I'm planning on using this is I'm going to be starting my little baby seedlings more towards eye level, and then as they get bigger, move them down, and the larger areas will hold plants that are larger in size. So that'll be really great come spring when I need to spot for tomatoes and peppers and things like that. This shelf also came with plastic mats that line the shelves, which I'm going to be using right now for the fall seed starting. It'll stop water from dripping or anything like that. But I'm not going to be using that when I'm using my heating mats, I don't think. I'm not sure how the heating mat will do on those plastic liners, but it was pretty cool. So these lights, I got at Outwoods. So I know there's a lot of talk about seed starting lights and what to get and what not to get. And there's purple ones and there's clear ones and there's all different color ones. And there's so many different options out there. I tried to go the most cost-effective route that I could. And so I'm using daylight bulb shop lights. I'll go into the specifics in just a minute, but I am going to be setting these up on a timer, and I'm going to show you how to work this timer I got at Outwoods. So we got this timer at Outwoods? Yeah, Outwoods. And I'm going to show you really quick how to set it since my husband just showed me. So you spin this center dial. It says current time to be what time it is. Currently it's 10:30. To spin it, you just bring it around like that. So it's about 10:30 p.m. So in between the 10 and 11. And then you push down the hours that you want your lights on. So I'm doing between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So those are pushed down. And then you have a bypass on the top for whether you want timer on or just outlet on. So this outlet has 2 spots where you can plug into. I'm going to be plugging an extension cord into one side, and if I need more things on that timer, I will set up a second extension cord. I'm going to plug the timer in on the top outlet because of where it's placed, and I can stick lights here, but I want my fan to be able to plug into the bottom one and not be on a timer and be on all the time. Okay, so as I'm getting this plugged in and getting it adjusted, let me go into the more specifics on the shop lights. So this time around, I got 7,500 lumens daylight bulbs. In the past, I have used 5,000 lumen daylight bulbs, and that worked just fine. 7,500 is a little bit stronger, and I don't need to be as close to the seeds as they're starting. Now, what's great about these lights is that they're hanging from a chain. And so as the plants start to grow and get taller, you can raise up your lights to get farther away from the plants or drop them back down if you need them to be closer. You do not want to fry your plants. That is something you want to watch. You don't want too close, but if you are too far away, they're also going to get leggy. Tomatoes are one of the only plants that I know of that can come back from being leggy because you plant them deep. Most other things will end up being weaker and not do as well. So the other thing that I started doing was I am realizing that I'm going to need 2 lights per shelf because of how deep the shelves are and the way that the lights are hitting them. So I had gotten 5 lights, but that's not going to be enough. So right now I'm setting up 2 shelves with 2 lights. And since I'm going to get more lights, I'm being aware of how many will plug into my extension cord. And so what my husband realized is that you can actually plug in the lights to each other. So each row, I'm plugging the back light, the one closest to the wall, into the extension cord, and then the front light I'm plugging into the back light. So I'm having them go back and forth. On the other shelves for now, I'm going to end up getting out my seed starting supplies. I will be having a fan on the seedlings for both spring and fall to help them get some strength and be strong when they hit the garden. And that's pretty much it. That's the setup this time around. Believe it or not, we're actually late for starting some of our seeds, like Brussels sprouts and things like that, the ones that I didn't want to be late for. But we are going to be starting lots of seeds this coming Tuesday and getting things on this rack. And I am super, super excited. So I hope you are getting ready for seed starting yourself, and that this inspires you, that it doesn't have to take up a whole lot of space. If you're not starting a lot of seeds, you can do a much smaller version of this, but we are starting quite a bit. So we will see you on the next video, which will have to do with seed starting.